I hope you find this video as enjoyable as I'm going to enjoy doing it. The sun. We all know that life itself is all due to the sun. You know, maybe other people have all these other stories. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, we don't have the sun. The sunlight doesn't, supply the earth with the light to grow the food and all that kind of stuff. Some people are just going off on their mind right now. But let's just understand that at least for most of our lifetimes and most ancient people have honored the sun as the great supplier for this planet. Okay. Now, whoever doesn't agree with that or doesn't think that or has been taught otherwise, I'm sorry for you. So anyway, the sun, subject, unit, or underlying nature. What subjects our underlying nature or notion? The sun does. And it's also S, which is the active identified, intense, 19, base active, intwents, 21, subject underlying intense, base underlying 21, and then AD, actively dia, coming through. So it's the active identified, based active, acting dia, coming through. 19, 21, and 14. Put these two together and you get 40. Add 14 to 40, you have 54. 54. It is the expressed dia in which we come through. The sun is the energy in which we come through. ED. Not by a coincidence, I am the fifth son, but I'm like I've said before, we had a third son in our family who was a stillbirth, who was born dead, the unseen concept, on 10-3, which is the junction of C, the unseen concept. Kind of weird. But actually, I am the fifth child, who is actually the fourth child that we've always known or recognized, because Jared has always just been, he was years before I was born, so my parents don't go on talking about their fifth child that was never alive. So I'm the fourth child, but the fifth that was born. ED is my dad's name. And we come through AD, which is DA, or my initials. I'm not trying to say this kind of silly, but it's like the sun, God is higher than the sun, but the sun is what we would consider the God of our planet. Most religions are based off of sun worship or some kind of solar deity or someone who controls the sun, something like that. The essence of light, so strong in this being, and it resonates from them because they shine like the sun. See how we compare everything to the sun and how gold is supposed to be the sun, So, but if you add these together all the way, you have the I. 5 plus 4 is 9. We have the I, in which we work through, and it's the sun. Well, see, this kind of thing goes with all the planets and all the things. Like, everybody breaks down deeply. I'm doing this with words just to show you the bare minimum of stuff. Like, words are everything, because every person is just named a certain thing, and they're the gathering of the universe from that depiction, and they resonate with it, and they just don't understand it to the level I do. In fact, they don't understand it to the level that they are. Not one other person does. Now, let me say something funny. Ed O'Neill is the guy who plays Al Bundy. Now, if you wanted to be something that was the notion expressed, identified, LLE, but it's like ill. It's the notion expressed ill. And he was like the guy that's like, oh, Peg, and always, the owl basic underling. It's like so magical and funny when you look at things like that. But when you look at things in the world that are going on, like all the horror, and it all breaks down, because this is the life and the afterlife and the in-between life. And the most of us will come back into a depiction of an earth somewhat like this. It may not even be the same timeline, may not be nothing like this next time, but it'll be in this kind of depiction, because you'll be stuck here. This is where, not necessarily stuck, but you'll be going through this again because you aren't ready to move forward. But when you're ready to move forward, you can come back here. It's just, it usually takes you quite a bit of your lifetime, that individual time, to remember it. And then when you remember it, everyone around you is just so lost, not knowing that they have done this billions of times. But So I'm going to go into all the planets. But since I've done the sun, let's just loosely say the moon. What is the moon? We know that the moon controls the water, not necessarily controls the water, but Luna, the idea of like the blue moon and the moon that helps, it's always bringing out the dew, right? So when the sun comes and it dries back up, and when the moon comes out, the sun goes down, the water shifts and it controls the tides. Why? Because it's the M, the manifested, ongoing 3D, two O's is 3D, and it's ongoing upon itself. And the N is that notion when nothing is there at night. N, this idea. So it's manifesting this ongoing. And water is clear. So water comes out. And M is also the 13th letter, which is the active concept, the active unseen concept, but constant to itself and constant to the planet. It's the water, but the moisture. And that's why it's dew. It comes actively through the expressed plural of what? Night, air, the plural. I mean, it's so cool. It's like, if you can understand this on the subtle level that I'm trying to speak it to you, then you're going to start opening your heart and seeing the world for more than the people that are confused, going around living a life that they've just been taught. And it's not their fault. We can forgive them. We can't just hate everybody, but we do have to stand against them. An act of defiance is an act of love when you give a shit about what is real. And what is real pertains to everybody and everything, even the ones doing the horrible shit, even the ones just sitting there just watching it happen, even the ones who are oblivious to it, and the ones who are standing up for it and arguing amongst ourselves. Like, all of us need some level of forgiveness, and all of us need to find a way to pull ourselves together and actually see what is and strive towards making this thing better. Or we're just wasting our time and wasting our breath. So if you have any ideas of what you'd like me to work on some videos, then please suggest it. Ask me anything. I can't give answers until people ask the questions. And basically the answers aren't going to be things that you like all the time, because sometimes the main parts of the world that we need to work on are things that little old me's don't think they can do. But when little old me's get together and become one big community or one big togetherness of people who give a damn, huge things will happen. The question is, do you give a damn? I know I do, and God knows I do. And anyone out there who's been listening to me for long enough and can hear that I'm coming from my heart, and I mean this. I want nothing from you, just to help, because I'm here to help this planet, the souls of the living beings who are here. So, until next time, peace and God bless.